Coming at number 10, we have Lea Michele. Back in December, Lea Michele started to go trending on Twitter after the internet started to troll her for her new chiseled facial appearance. When the funny girl actress posted a selfie comparing herself to Lucia, the beautiful working girl on The White Lotus, the internet was then quick to notice her resemblance to another trending character, which is a girl who has undergone buccal fat removal. The cosmetic procedure involves surgically removing fat between the cheekbones and the jawbones via incisions inside the mouth to highlight one's facial bone structure. While people have been doing the surgery for decades, it's currently all the rage with young celebrities and people on TikTok. It takes a normal looking girl and makes them look almost skeletal, which is pretty damaging to a younger person's image. While the surgery isn't everybody's cup of tea, I still don't understand why Hollywood girlies aren't trying to get rid of it and why they keep opting to do it, and it kinda made Lea Michele look more scary than her Rachel Berry days on Glee. Number 9, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian has been pretty open about her physical transformation, and unlike her other sisters, she claimed that she has undergone plastic surgery more than once in her life. While the reality TV star isn't too outspoken when it comes to her past procedures, she has opened up once before about the reason behind her choice to undergo the knife. In a reunion episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Khloe revealed that she opted for a few cosmetic alterations by saying, "For me, everyone says, oh my gosh, she had a third face transplant, but I've had one nose job." Aside from her nose job, the Good American founder has also revealed she has done injections, but not really Botox because she responded horribly Botox. Khloe, like Kylie, has also gotten so much filler done at one point. She even went back 3 times to get it dissolved, but it still feels like the effects are still there. But for a while, the star did look a little scary with all that filler. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley was a legendary beauty, but when she underwent plastic surgery in the past, it left her with some unfortunate side effects. It would force her to come out and claim that she unknowingly had industrial low-grade silicone injected into her face by a doctor who wasn't even licensed to practice medicine in the United States. Priscilla was one of many victims who fell into the hands of Dr. Daniel Serranoez. In 2008, a rep of the actress would share that an investigation which uncovered his misconduct ultimately led to his imprisonment. Miss Presley dealt with this matter years ago, and eventually everything is now well. Serrano, who was not licensed to practice medicine, would find himself being deported back to Argentina after serving 18 months in federal prison, after some of his injections caused lumps, paralysis, and holes in his client's face. But the work he did to Priscilla definitely had her wishing that she never underwent the surgery, and she never even tried to have it repaired as she was kinda scared it would do more harm than good. Number 7, Janice Dickinson. It's clear that Hollywood's obsession with plastic surgery is starting to get really scary, and if you look what happened to Janice Dickinson after she made an attempt to keep her youthful appearance, people would even start to confuse her with Caitlyn Jenner. After she had a botched procedure done, even according to celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Anthony Ewing, Janice had every plastic surgery procedure there is. And that's not really hard to believe, as once the stunning model now looks like she is pure plastic. And I've seen her undergo some treatments on reality TV. Dr. Ewing would then jokingly add, "I believe she's undergone pretty much every facial plastic surgery there is, including a facelift, eye lift, lip injections, Botox, fat injections, a brow lift, and she's probably single-handedly paid for her plastic surgeon's house." Despite Janice going under the knife numerous times, Ewing said, while Janice doesn't look a whole lot like herself, she's holding up pretty well, and she's had quite a bit of help. In 2014, Janice would even admit when she was 32, or in the Jurassic era, that's when she had her first procedure done, and it included work to her chest, a tummy tuck, facelift, and Botox. At number 6, we have Linda Evangelista. The OG supermodel hasn't been seen in public for a while now, and in September 23rd, 2021, she would explain why. Linda revealed that she underwent cool sculpting, which she claims left her looking unrecognizable, as it allegedly caused her fat cells in her face to multiply, and she would say, "To my followers who have wondered why I have not been working while my peers' careers have been thriving. The reason is that I was brutally disfigured by a procedure which did the opposite of what it promised. She then went on to talk about the procedure's rare but serious side effects, and she said not only did it destroy my livelihood, but it sent me into a cycle of depression, profound sadness, and lowest depths of self-loathing. In the process, I have become reclusive, and I'm so tired of living this way. I would like to walk out my door with my head held high despite not looking like myself any longer. However, if you look at photos from Linda from 2005 to now, before her procedure disfigured her famous face, the girl was stunning. And if you were looking to get plastic surgery done in the future, let this be a warning and just a reminder that you're beautiful just the way you look. Number 5, Mickey Rourke. Since the beginning of his career, Mickey Rourke has captured the news headlines every now and then, and one of the most talked about things about him is his face. Today, everyone knows Mickey to be an actor of repute who has starred in many successful movies over the years, but it is essential to understand that acting was not Mickey's first love, as he's a man who was in love with boxing, and he eventually became a professional boxer. And he did pretty well because he was unbeaten in all his fights as he won and drew others. However, he endured a lot of injuries to his face, and some of these injuries were so severe that they threatened to ruin his good looks, so he opted to have cosmetic surgery to fix his face. However, the doctors he met to help him fix his face just ended up ruining it. His face today is now very different from what his fans had known it to be, and anytime he steps into the public, paparazzi just swarms his face. While the star has undergone different cosmetic surgeries to correct his face, it just keeps changing and it keeps renewing the public's interest. Number 4, Joan Rivers. Comedian Joan Rivers was famous for constantly changing her face. When the reality TV star passed away at the age of 81, her daughter Melissa would write a memoir, The Book of Joan, tales of mirth, mischief, and manipulation, as a tribute to her mother. In it, Melissa would reveal that Joan had a staggering 348 cosmetic operations over her life, and she was never happy with the way she looked, which fed into her sense of being less than. Joan Rivers' tragic passing was caused after she had complications following her surgery, after the comedian never recovered from a loss of oxygen to her brain during surgery. Her daughter would then be able to sue the clinic for malpractice. It would be noted that Joan went into the hospital after she scheduled an EGD. However, reports then showed another procedure, a nasolaryngoscopy, which was performed twice by an ENT doctor not privileged to perform that procedure at Yorkville, and Rivers was never informed or consented to that procedure. Number 3, Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace's designs for Versace may have sparked thousands of copycats, but there is no danger of a woman following suit when it comes to Donatella Versace's new look. 30 years ago, the fashion guru had naturally full lips and smooth skin, but today her face is striking for all the wrong reasons, as she has now turned herself into a real-life human waxwork doll after she overdid Botox and added too much filler to her cheeks and lips. Not to mention, the businesswoman has also had a facelift, and eyes and brow lift. And if you look at her face, you can tell that her eyelids are like a little droopy because she had some bad Botox, and that's why they look droopy. It's also been said that she looks like she may have had some filler added to her earlobes, as they looked very stretched. Dr. David Rappaport has also provided a timeline of Donatella's alleged procedures, where he would point out that it seems clear that the designer has had a facelift, as she has a scar that you can see on her temple areas, and she has a fine linear scar from it. He would also note that her hairline has been lifted too high, and it shouldn't end that high above her ears, but this could also indicate that she's gone under the knife for more than one procedure. Number 2, Carrot Top. Comedian king of props Scott Carrot Top Thompson has had to deal with a lot of plastic surgery rumors and before and after surgery photos, but despite the hundreds of sources saying he underwent the knife to change his looks, the comedian says he hasn't had work done on him, but it's clearly just a lie. So Carrot Top is one of these most successful comedians from the late 90s and 2000s. Aside from comedy, one of the most talked about topics whenever Carrot Top is brought up is about his looks, and people start to debate state whether the star has had plastic surgery done or not. Although various sources have tried exploring his transformation to put an answer to the question, the comedian still continues to deny all the rumors that revolve around him undergoing the knife to change his looks. And to this day, the comedian still has to deal with plastic surgery rumors, as the media has been swamped with before and after photos of the star. Many have even compared his transformation to plastic surgery disasters, and some professionals have even commented on it, such as Dr. Anthony Yoon, who pointed out that the comedian has definitely had laser treatments or chemical peels, and he even commented on Carrot Top's appearance by saying he looks more like a muscle-bound cartoon character. Number 1. Lil' Kim. Lil' Kim is undoubtedly one of the brightest, most influential women in hip-hop, yet her legacy remains controversial for one reason or the other. It seems like the star is constantly being thrown in front of the media since the beginning of her career for her ever-changing face. In 2005, Kim would even go on a radio show to explain that she had broken her nose after getting into an altercation with her ex-boyfriend, and she had to get surgery done to fix her nose, and then she would go back to her boyfriend, get hurt again, and it would reel her into a tangle of insecurities and self-loathing. Kim was so tired of lying about her injuries and burying her bruises in makeup that she thought it would be better to get professional work done and wipe those physical markings away once and for all. And then after, she would get more surgeries done by her own choice, as she was facing insecurities after her boyfriends kept cheating on her with European women with long hair. So starting off our list today at number 10, we have Kim Kardashian. For years now, it seems like the Kardashian family has denied having any sort of procedures done, which is baffling because just having one look at the family, you can tell that they have definitely had a lot of work done to achieve their looks. While Kim has continued to go on and claim that she hasn't had any butt injections, she has claimed to getting cortisone shots to help her with her psoriasis. In 2022, during her cover interview with Allure, she would explain that she had a little bit of Botox done, and that's exactly what she's done to her face over the years. She then went on to deny any other procedures after she said she chilled on all the Botox lately. She then went on to claim that she's never had eyelash extensions, and went on to say, "I've never done anything. I have a drop of mascara on today. I've never filled my cheeks. I've never filled my lips." But do we actually really believe her? Number 9. Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen has been pretty open about her plastic surgery when she first started to admit to her procedures back in 2017, when she told Refinery 29 that she had her armpit sucked out, and when her fat came back, she had to pay for liposuction again so she could feel more confident when she wore her dresses. Then in 2019, the star would take to her Instagram to post that she would be removing her chest implants, as she wanted to be able to zip into a dress size that was actually her size. And then again in 2021, the star would take to her Instagram again to share that she had the fat removed from her cheeks, when she said, "I did that Dr. Diamond buckle fat removal thing here, and since I quit drinking, I'm really seeing the results." Chrissy then went on to point to the area of her cheek where the procedure had been done, before adding in her caption that she had no shame in her Dr. Diamond game. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming at number 8, we have Khloe Kardashian. I don't think any of us really thought Khloe would admit to some of the procedures she had done on her face, as we thought she was just going to conceal the truth about her work like the rest of the family seems to do. However, during an episode on Keeping Up with the Kardashian series finale reunion, the star would admit to her procedures when she said, "For me, everyone says, oh my gosh, she had her 3rd face transplant. But I've had one nose job and everyone gets so upset, like, why don't I talk about it? No one's ever asked me." On her talk show Cocktails with Khloe, the star also admitted to having facial fillers dissolved, when she said, "My face was so effed, I had to go and get this whole thing dissolved. It was a bummer and now I'm afraid to do it again. I'm also almost like I swear things are still in my face," which is honestly probably true, as once you alter your face, you can't go back to what you used to look like before. Number 7. Ashley Tisdale. Have you ever noticed that Ashley Tisdale's face altered around the time she was working on the hit show Sweet Life of Zac and Cody? Well, later on in Ashley's career, after the rumors started to circulate around the star altering her nose, she would admit that she did have a nose job done in 2007 to fix a deviated septum. When she told people, "I didn't do this because I believe in plastic surgery, I did this to help my health. I literally almost could not breathe out of my right nostril. I want my fans to know the truth. I'm not someone who is going to act like I have done nothing. I just want to be honest with my fans who are everything to me. And while Ashley did choose to admit that she had surgery done, she's not like most celebrities on this list today because she chose to have the cosmetics procedures done to help her health and not to improve her overall look. Number 6. Bella Hadid. In her 2022 Vogue cover story, Bella Hadid would share that she regretted having her nose altered when she was just 14 years old, when she said, "I wish I would have kept the nose of my ancestors. I think I would have grown into it." She also went on to add that her nose job was the only procedure she has ever gotten done, and she went on to say, "People think I fully effed my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy. I'm sure you don't look the same now as you did when you're 13, right? I've never used filler. Let's just put an end to that. I have no issue with it, but it's not for me." Instead, she went on to state that her lifted appearance is the result of an illusion when she said, "Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever, it's called face tape, the oldest trick in the book." However, while the star has admitted to her nose job, it's only a matter of time before she comes out to reveal that she also had buccal fat removal, as her cheeks are looking hella sculpted lately. Number 5. Joe Jonas. You think being one of the best looking men in Hollywood, Joe Jonas would have never done anything to his face, but then think again, as the star has had help from injectables over the years to help combat signs of getting older. As he once told people, we're all getting older, and part of it is being comfortable in our own skin. Around this time, Joe was also becoming a brand partner for Exomin, which is an anti-wrinkle injectable that temporarily improves the appearance of frown lines using a double filtered formula. Joe would also go on to admit he not only uses this treatment for his frown lines, but he also uses it to smooth out a scar he has between his eyebrows, before noting that his procedure has never been over the top and that he kept things pretty light so you couldn't really tell that he has had work done. Joe actually only chose to come out about his cosmetic treatments so he can encourage other men to feel comfortable doing the same thing, as he doesn't find it such a big deal, and he would also state that we should all feel confident about how we look. Number 4. Courtney Cox. At one point in time, we all noticed that there was just something different about Courtney Cox, and while a lot of people just couldn't wrap their finger around it and what was different with her, some of the star's fans then started to accuse the star of having work done. While Courtney was silent for years about her cosmetic procedures, in 2017 she would finally admit to having cosmetic surgeries when she said, "I've had all my fillers dissolved. I'm as natural as I can be. I feel better because I look myself. I think that I now look like the person that I was. I hope I do. Things are going to change. Everything's going to drop. I was trying to make it not drop, but that made my face look fake. You need movement in your face, especially if you have thin skin like I do. Those aren't wrinkles, they're smile lines. I've had to learn how to embrace movement and realize that fillers are not my friend." But honestly, fillers seem to be no one's friend, so it's surprising to see so many celebrities entering into the trend to get them. Number 3. Marc Jacobs. Back in 2021, Marc Jacobs would cause quite the public stir on Instagram after he uploaded a selfie of himself post-operation that showcased his head wrapped in bandages. The celebrity would then open up about his $50,000 facelift and his decision to publicly reveal he had gone under surgery, while saying there was no shame in being vain. The designer has been sharing candid photos of his post-operative recovery on his personal Instagram account since. The celebrity plastic surgeon Andrew Giacono performed his deep plane facelift on July 20th, 2021. Marc would then open up about his procedure with Vogue when he told the media outlet, "I've got some scars around my ears and my face is swollen. I have a bruised neck. I'm still posting on Instagram. I don't care. I don't even see it as an effort to be transparent. I'm doing what I normally do, which is living my life and sharing it with anybody who is interested." Marc would then point out that he's been pretty honest about his changing appearance for decades, and he'll continue to do so as he gets more procedures done. Number 2. Tori Spelling. Back in 2021, Tori Spelling would address her expired and recalled chest implants when the actress posted a photo of herself at a plastic surgeon's office that year on November 19th. In the caption of the photo, she would say, "After needing to for many years, I'm finally addressing my expired and recalled implants. Thanks for squeezing me in. Dr. Plastic Surgery. Great consult. I adore you already." Beforehand, Tori had already previously shared that her implants had expired during an October episode, Wind Down with Jana Kramer. And when Tori was asked if she wanted to have new implants done, the Beverly Hills 90210 actor would say she did, before noting, "See, no one told me when I got that done. In 10 years, you would have to get them redone." Beforehand, in 2019, Tori did address all the rumors around her changed appearance when she told people, "The one thing that stuck with me forever was the plastic surgery thing. I literally had my nose done and my chest done. That's it. I'm constantly reading that I've done more." While the star has been under speculation for more procedures since she was at the age of 19, it seems like most celebrities can shake the rumors, but Tori's plastic surgery rumors have stuck with her throughout her entire career. And coming in at number 1 today, we have Reid Ewing. Reid Ewing once opened up about how he had a nightmare of a time struggling with body dysmorphia and the resulting horrors he faced when he attempted to use plastic surgery to fix it. When the actor, who is best known for playing Dylan on Modern Family, penned an essay for the Huffington Post, he would give shocking details about how he had a pretty difficult time in his life dealing with body dysmorphic disorder. So if you don't know what body dysmorphic disorder is, it's a mental illness in which a person obsesses over the way he or she looks, thinking about their real or perceived flaws for hours each day. And for Reid, he spent years analyzing every single feature, to the point he had to make his first appointment to meet with a cosmetic surgeon when he was only 19 years old. Though he describes the doctor as being curt and uninterested in his worries, nevertheless, he decided to undergo the surgery to get a large cheek implant. After getting the surgery done, Reid would face more problems, as he had to hide his face from the public to hide his disordered appearance post-surgery. It also didn't help when he woke up from the surgery, all the doctor and his staff could do was laugh at the actor's appearance.
Number 10. Zac Efron in Baywatch. Acknowledging his appearance changed in recent years, Efron explained that his looks changed after he fell over at his home and he broke his jaw in November of 2013, making his face and jaw muscles have to work extra hard. According to Zac, he was seeing a physical therapist to help him recover from this, but he briefly stopped while he was in Australia, where he taped 2 seasons of his Netflix series Down to Earth. It wasn't until 2017's Baywatch that fans really noticed the physical changes that Zac was going through. He was already a very muscular man. He claims to have starved and dehydrated himself for the shoot to appear more toned up. And on top of that, this was around the same time that his jaw started to reset itself, being noticeably stiff throughout the feature. His jaw is now more pronounced and it gives him like a more square but muscular face, almost appearing swollen sometimes. The look was only a third of the reason that fans hated this movie. It was also because of the terrible script and performances from its cast. Seriously, Dwayne Johnson, come on. Number 9. Sylvester Stallone in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now, Sylvester Stallone's face is distracting in general. Ever since Rocky, this dude has looked like he's slowly been melting for 20 years, until suddenly a new face emerged. The fun thing with Sylvester is, depending on what movie you've seen between 2010 and now, depends on what you may have gotten in terms of face altogether. Around The Expendables, fans started to notice some subtle changes in his face. The cheeks were a little bit more prominent, he seemed to have more pronounced jaw, but the closer to the final Rambo movie we got, the more that he began to resemble his Rocky days. But most recently in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it seems that someone took a drywall scraper and just like slowly flattened his face. His eyebrows also look more pronounced, almost like they're the Nike swoosh. And while the overall film is not a flop, the scenes with Sylvester in them were universally agreed to be unnecessary and distracting to the overall project. Number 8. Mickey Rourke in Wild Orchid. Back in his early days in Hollywood, Rourke was known as one of the prettiest boys in town. He was often compared to the likes of Marlon Brando and James Dean. However, that reputation did not last long. Throughout the 1980s, the diner actor would always talk about his issues with fame and how he hated the industry. So, throughout the early 90s, Mickey slowly started getting into the world of professional boxing as an escape. This was the main cause for so much of his misshapen face. According to Mickey himself, he had slowly been dismantled by the sport, breaking his nose twice, snapping his cheekbone, and damaging his ribs and toes. Needless to say, a professional doctor advised him to hang up the gloves before it did too much damage, but unfortunately that damage was already done. In his 1990 film Wild Orchid, the actor's cheeks were visibly swollen and he just looked so different. Later in 2009, he admitted that these changes were indeed due to botched plastic surgery, as a lot of people speculated. Whether it was the bad acting or the bad surgery, the movie tanked at the box office and it currently sits at a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. Since then, Mickey has gone under again for corrective surgery, but he still looks like a clay model of his former self. Number 7. Nicole Kidman in Bewitched. Nicole has been around for a while in the world of Hollywood, starring in everything from superhero movies like Batman Forever to the film on this list, 2005's Bewitched. The film was based around a TV series of the same name and featured Kidman as the lead and Will Ferrell as her co-star. The film was okay, it's fun for some, but for critics, it was a rough ride. One thing many fans noticed right away was that her cheeks looked suspiciously round. Like throughout the movie, the audience was left wondering what was happening to Nicole's face. Over the years, it has been speculated that she's gotten some kind of work done, but it was never actually confirmed. But just taking one look at a side-by-side proves that something has been done. Her cheeks look fuller, her face seems lifted, you know, there's a lot going on upstairs. This film was just the first of many to leave fans pondering what Nicole had been doing, and it did not stop there. The closer to 2020 we got, the more she appeared to have done, becoming nearly unrecognizable in her role in Bombshell. Number 6. John Travolta in Wild Hogs. John Travolta is a renowned actor who's been around for decades and's probably starred in at least one of your top 10 movies. However, the iconic Pulp Fiction actor surprised fans with what looks like the aftermath of botchy plastic surgery in 2007's Wild Hogs. Fans were convinced that John had some work done in his face and it had gone horribly wrong. Comparing his face to the Grease lightning star that we all know and loved, there are just noticeable differences under his eyes and around his jaw. He now had more of a square face with unnaturally straight bone structure that he most certainly did not have when he met Sandy. Of course, getting Botox, fillers, or even plastic surgery as a quick fix to hide the inevitable signs of aging is not that big of a deal in Hollywood, but Mr. Travolta might have just stepped into the wrong surgeon's office, as fans were shocked and critical about his new look. The film overall was just a little bit strange, but it had a nice premise. It featured some pretty stellar comedic actors like Tim Allen and Martin Lawrence and Ray Liotta. They played a wannabe crew of bikers who get more than they bargained for when they run into actual gang members. It sounds fun, but the entire film is derailed by the distracting face of John Travolta. Seriously, this dude went from Grease lightning to being struck by lightning. Number 5. Helen Hunt in I See You. From Mad About You and What Women Want to Twister, there is no denying that Helen Hunt has been a tour de force on screens big and small for decades. In fact, she got her start as a child actor in the 70s. A lifetime in the spotlight means fans will always be curious about every aspect of your life. Considering the pressure to remain youthful in Hollywood, many fans wondered if Helen Hunt ever decided to get plastic surgery. Well, 2019 was a big year for Helen. She had several movies coming out and had just directed an episode of The Politician. However, the main draw of that year was her role in the horror movie I See You, with many fans claiming that the film was unwatchable simply due to her facelift. It seemed like someone was trying to CGI out all the age on her face, but it ended up looking just strange, weird. The negative online comments caused many fans to skip this one and wait for the home release. Who am I kidding? They torrented it. Number 4. Tara Reid in American Pie Reunion. Tara has starred in several comedy flicks over the years, but they tend to stick to the same category: schlocky and cheap, which are still fun. Being a part of movies like Van Wilder, Sharknado, and of course the American Pie series. While she seemed to be on the rise, rumors of a serious attitude on set were slowly bringing her less and less roles, and a wardrobe malfunction at a party for P. Diddy in 2004, in which one part of her chest was visible for all the world to see, well, that didn't help either. She had clearly gotten some work done, which was obvious thanks to a certain body part being in the shape of a square and not a circle like it should be. She had also received many physical alterations to her face and stomach, with the latter being botched so horribly to the point where Tara had a hernia that prevented her from being able to work without a shirt on, which was apparently a big part of her career. When the gang got back together for the reunion, fans were curious to see where the film would take the crew and if it may be the first of many more American Pie movies. movies. Unfortunately, the script combined with the distracting physical changes to one of its main cast members caused fans to peg this flick as a must-forget. Number 3. Jeremy Piven in Smokin' Aces. The Entourage star has not always been some cool guy in a suit. He's been a wide range of characters, from a bald store clerk to a villain in Spy Kids 4. This man is versatile, and so is his hair. In one of Jeremy's first acting gigs in Singles from 1992, he's very obviously missing the top of his head. His hair is slowly thinning, but is very clearly on its way out. Okay, so cut to the first season of Entourage, where his hair suddenly began to grow back. And by the time the 2006 movie Smokin' Aces came along, Jeremy had long hair. He looked like he was in a boy band that partied just a little bit too hard. This was a very distracting moment in the world of Hollywood and is a part of the reason that this movie tanked. It could be that, or it could be the terrible performances given by Piven, especially when you compare it to his co-stars like Ryan Reynolds and Ben Affleck, but who knows. It seems that the closer to 2020 we got, the more hair this dude had. He claims to have received hair transplant surgery, which was difficult to hide as he was bald one day and Elvis Presley the next. Number 2. Portia de Rossi, Arrested Development. While this may not be a film entry, how about the fact that she messed up a whole season of television just with her face? In fact, it had changed so much that her character was slowly written out of the series. The popular series returned after 7 years of rest, releasing an entire season, 15 episodes worth, all at once on Netflix. Now this is how the running joke heavy sitcom was really meant to be watched, all in one sitting over and over again at the viewer's own leisure. But it seemed that all the Twitter sphere could talk about was actress Portia de Rossi's face. De Rossi, who plays the vapid, self-centered, clueless Lindsay Bluth Fuquet in the series, had apparently gotten some work done as a side-by-side of season 1 to season 4 shows vastly different faces. Several plastic surgeons gave their take on the possible changes and agreed that it was very obvious that she had had some work done. They report that she received a nasal tip reconstruction and Botox injections. Yeah, you don't need to be a plastic surgeon to see that one. Unfortunately for the show, that 4th season was not well received, and one of the many issues that fans seemed to have was the little to no explanation on why Lindsay looked like that. And at number 1, Kim Bassinger in The Burning Plain. Kim was a rising star in the 1980s, being featured in rom-coms, action movies, dramatic pieces, each one just a little bit better than it would have been without her. Towards the end of the 1990s, she was still maintaining a steady career, but as we entered the new millennium, many were noticing several changes to her face. By the time The Burning Plain came out, it was obvious what was going on. Her cheeks were noticeably larger, leaving her with deep ridges. Her face was also suspiciously wrinkle-free, which made the changes even more obvious. Between the Botox, the facelift, and who knows what else, her role in the film was bogged down by the unrecognizable face of Miss Kim Bassinger. Despite boasting a great cast with Jennifer Lawrence and Charlize Theron, the film tanked, and no one could take it seriously. And those are the